Hello viewer, welcome back. I'm going to do a big bowl today with some colour on it, a method that I've never tried before. So if it doesn't work, it won't have any colour on it, so I'll just scrape it all off again. And I'll show you what I've got and what I'm going to do. Well, I've got a nice big blank of tulip wood, which is 300mm or 12 inches, 50mm or 2 inches thick. I've already marked off the centre line, the centre hole rather, with that centre finder. Just put it up to the edge. Obviously this is too big, so I'll put 5 little lines all the way around. Then use the ruler and extend it to the centre, and where the lines intersect, that should be the middle. So I'll just get my centre punch, just pop a little dent in there. That's all it needs. The next thing will be to put the back plate on, or face plate, whatever you call them. Now I've got this handy little tool with a little ground down screw on the end, if you can see that little point. That fits nicely in there, and that will find the centre. Found it straight away. That's gone into that little dent I just put in, and then screw that on. Now the paints I'm going to be using are these Iridescent. I've got red, violet, blue, green. I don't know if I'm going to use all of those yet. I might just use 2 or 3, or even just 2. I don't know. Never done it before. I've seen quite a few other people have done it, so I thought I'll have a go, see what it turns out like. Anyway, first things first is to get that plate mounted on there, get it on the lathe and start working with it. Quick tip, and it works. A little circle of cardboard. The other day I could not get my chuck off, and I even bent the knockout bar using it as a wrench, trying to pull the blooming chuck round. Managed to more or less straighten it out since, but still a bit of a kink in it. And apparently if you put a little piece of cardboard on the shaft, it stops it from jamming, and haven't had a problem since I put that on. So there you go, little tip, and it works, believe me. Yeah, quite a few lumps and bumps in this one. So it's hardly touched there yet. It's gone 3/4 of the way round. So a little bit of work to do there to get it nice and flat. So I'll carry on with that for a bit, and I'm just going to trim it up on the edge and then on to the next stage. Right, I found that this little carbide cutter could do with a bit of rotation really, to put a fresh edge on it. So it seems to be riding the bumps rather than taking them off, so I've gone to a nice freshly ground scraper, and that's doing the job a lot better. That is a big improvement. Much better. It's a tiny bit to do around there now. I'm just going to get a mortise in here now. Now I know some of you are probably saying, why is he bothered flattening this off if you're only going to turn it round? It's just a matter of habit really you get into. It's always better to have a nice flat surface to work on, and this will have to be shaped eventually. So you may as well just do it, and it's always good practice. I know a lot of it's going to be taken away, so if you've got a nice flat surface to work with, it makes controlling the tool easier as well. Right, I've got the mortise in. I've just scraped this I'm just leaving a tiny little foot, as you can see. I've just given a very fine scrape on that because that's what the bowl's going to sit on eventually, so it's got to be perfectly flat. I'm just going to take this up, curve this slightly now before I turn it round and get it in the chuck. I'll do a bit of sanding as well to finish off as much as I can around this area. Okay, I got it turned round in the chuck now, just skimmed a bit off the face of it. Now I've got to decide where I want the actual bowl to be. So I want it quite a wide rim on this for the colouring. It's no good having something a bit too narrow. So I think the bowl itself, about that big, or even that big, somewhere around there. And a little rim I want to put about there, he said, and another little mark about there, and this will be coloured in between these two lines. That'll be dug out, that'll be a little rim which I'm going to put in now just to show you. I think you can see that a bit better now if I zoom in a bit. There you go. Now you can see in between those lines, that's going to be where the colour is, I hope. So I'm going to dig this out now. You've seen that done thousands of times. Now the sanding process, again, it's really important, but especially if this is being painted, because paint shows up every little imperfection. So I'm going to go through right as far as I can, I think 600. I haven't finished the inside of the bowl yet because there's a reason for that. Because I'm going to be spray painting this, and then I shall skim over and take any paint that's in the bowl off. As with anything else, always keep the sandpaper moving, otherwise you'll end up with scratches in the wood. And I'm just going to turn my extractor on now, so you'll have to excuse me. Right, now I've taken it off the lathe, because I don't want to get spray all over my lathe. I can't be bothered to cover it up. I left it on the chuck, just got it on here, a piece of old paper, and now I'm just going to spray it black. Fine coats, build it up slowly. let that dry. Now this is a satin black. It's from a well-known motoring and cycling accessory shop. Right, so I'll let that dry and give it another coat or two. Right, that's had a couple of coats now, and I'll put it back on the lathe. Now I can finish the inside of the bowl off. The only reason I did it like this was quite simply I forgot. Some people they spray it before they even start hollowing the bowl out. Makes no difference really. So I didn't finish the inside of the bowl, so I'll just give it a few scrapes with a little carbide cutter and see what happens. That's coming on very nicely now. Nearly got it all the way around the edge. There's just a little bit of black still showing. It's down there, I don't know if you can see it. But a quick scrape will soon put that right. And it gives a nice crisp edge then to where the black meets the wood colour. So I'll just do a few finishing scrapes and sand the inside. Right, I'm just going to put the there you go. Just going to put the groove back in near the edge here and take the black paint off the groove that's already there. That looks a bit better, doesn't it? Excellent. Right, on with the finishing. Right, after a bit of experimenting, I've decided I don't like all four colours, it's too much. So I'm just concentrating on blue and green now. And I'm just going to keep putting a few little blobs of blue and green on until I've got the desired effect, whatever that is. So I haven't got a clue what I'm doing really, what I want it to look like. I'm not going to call it anything like cosmic this or solar that. It's so I'm just going to carry on building these little blobs up now in the blue and the green and see how it looks then. If you get a bit too near the groove, you can just blow it away. Yeah, I think those colours are going to look really nice together. Right, I'll do some more blue and green. Well, I think that'll do. Yep. So now I'm going to leave this till tomorrow, let it set nice and hard, and then finish it off, polish the bowl, put a bit of polish over the top, or maybe a spray lacquer, I don't know yet. But just going to leave it and be patient now. So I'll see you tomorrow. Right, that's about all the colour on it I want to put. Now some finishing cuts in the bowl bit itself. Just nice fine finishing cuts, probably with the round carbide cutter. And then just going to clean this edge up where there's some black overspray. Again, just with a scraper or a carbide cutter. And get some polish on it and see what it looks like. I think I'll just use maybe a wax stick. I don't know if I'll lacquer it yet or not. I might practice on a bit of scrap first, see what it looks like before I put the final coat of polish on it. Anyway, here we go. That's just about good enough for sanding now. And there's the finished bowl. Now, I'm sure you can see the shine on that, the way the colours reflect. This is just with one light. I haven't got any extra light on it. What I did in the end, I just sanding sealant in there and wood wax 22, just a simple wax polish. I've learned that once this paint's dry, it's relatively easy to polish over. I was a bit wary about putting a bit too much pressure on when I was polishing it up, but it's very stable, and yeah, I quite like that. So just the two colours. I did experiment with more and it just looked silly. So that's it. No name for it, it's just a coloured bowl. And I'm very pleased with these paints. A little bit of practice with them, I think, on something else at a later date. So there you go. Hope you've enjoyed that one. I did. I like experimenting, trying new things. I know a lot of people have done this kind of thing before, but it's a first for me. So there you go. So thanks very much to all my subscribers, old and new, and they're still coming. I can't believe it. And I'll see you soon for the next one. Bye for now.